Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 6 of the DK podcast. I'm your host, Colton, and Dominic's across the table from me.
How's it going?
Another day.
Another day?
$100.
Okay.
Yeah, I just got done folding probably like 1,200 tax statements in the past 2 days.
There you go.
I'm on record pace, bro.
Yeah, I thought you were supposed to not be on record pace.
No, I've got to be on record pace because we've got to have them out by the end of the month.
The end of the month?
That's not too far from now.
Are you going to make it?
It's not looking good right now so far.
So you need help, is what you're saying. Is the government always hiring?
No, we're not hiring.
Okay, so you just go through stages of extreme busyness, and then it's like waves.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like October 15th through January, we're pretty busy. And then the rest of the time, I kind of just chill out.
Chill and do nothing.
Yeah, no, I do
just
other
kidding. I'm
stuff,
messing with you.
like swim.
Yeah.
So
So I'm curious, while we're on this topic, are there benefits to working for them? Like, because like I work for a company, I get benefits because I work with them, and I get some of the.
What do you mean by benefits?
So like the company I work for is in vacation rentals, and so I get discounts on that. I get, if I manage the property through them, I'd get a discount. So stuff like that. But like I feel like every company has some kind of perks. Like when I worked at Menards, you got a 10% discount on everything.
No, I don't get any. Like, so if I'm an elected official, like if I'm somebody that gets elected, so like my boss is the collector treasurer, they can get their student loans paid for.
Oh, okay. So there's benefits but you can't.
I can't, no.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not too benefit friendly. Like I get 13 paid holidays.
Okay.
And they call that benefits. I get insurance and stuff like that. So
okay.
yeah.
So there's some upside.
There's upsides,
areas.
not discounts or anything like that to your taxes or anything.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say no taxes.
Yeah, no taxes. Anyways, let's introduce our guest. So for today, we have a bye week in the football season, so we're gonna adventure outside of football. We're gonna show off our other teams, and today we've got a cross country runner, and me and this guy go back way long ago, and today we've got a state qualifier in cross country and in track. It's Cameron Bailey. One thing about this guy, you will see him in many pictures making the weirdest faces of all time. Cameron, how's it going?
Howdy.
Hey.
There we go. But how are you?
Not too bad, actually. Not too bad.
Good. So, Dominic, not much of a runner yourself, are you?
I am not much of a runner at all. I used to run a little bit long distance, but the only time I've ever been like sprint fast was when I was really young. Ever since I was 13 plus, I've just been long distance, if anything. But
yeah, I want to hop back to a memory of me and you.
Oh boy.
I remember you and your dad were doing like some half marathon training.
Yep.
And I remember you're like, why don't you come out and train with me for one of these days?
Yeah.
And you went and ran 8 miles.
Yep.
And you drug me through 8 miles.
Yes, sir.
Granted, I only made it through like 6.
Hey.
That's not bad.
No.
Yeah.
But now I'm faster than Dominic. And
oh, yeah.
We just did a mud run and
Bro.
absolutely destroyed this man.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyways, let's get into it, Cameron. How long have you been doing cross country?
Ooh, like 6 years. I'm going to give it a good
6
6.
years?
Oh,
So
yeah.
middle school, 7th to 8th grade, and through high school?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I missed 1 year, but I still count it. It was my freshman year. I got injured.
Okay, yeah. Obviously, that injuries count, so.
Yeah.
What are practices like for you?
Practices they're not boring because the people I'm running with is really fun, but like on terms of like how hard they are way harder than what people think.
Mhm.
It is just like jogging. It's not.
Oh, yeah.
It's not jogging.
So, towards the beginning of the season, what's your like average pace you start out with?
I'd have to say average would be like 7:45
7:45
for like 6 miles.
6 miles.
Oh, man.
Okay. I remember running 7:45 for 1 mile. Man.
So for swim team, we used to have to run those miles.
Yeah.
What was the highest that you got to on your times there?
I barely made it out of 8 minutes. The
Really?
only time I ran, like, there was one time there was like a Coach Marty Fun Run or something like that out at the high school track.
Yeah.
And Nicholas Ray paced me to a 7:30.
Okay, so you got to 7.5.
Yeah, I got to. It was
Okay.
like 7:34 if we want to be exact. But
Yeah.
yeah.
You would be surprised what mine is. Can you
Yours is 6 minutes something.
Yeah.
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 No, you used to be fast.
Yeah. So I trained the fastest I ever been. And see, whenever I did my it was 6:15 is what I got down to. When I did that, I wasn't fast like short distance. It was only the fastest I was at a mile.
Yeah.
So it was all long distance stuff. Dude, but after I ran my half marathon, it destroyed me. It made me hate running.
It will.
Going above like 6, 7, 8 miles, hated it.
Yeah.
It's
It was
terrible.
awful.
Yeah, I don't blame you for quitting after that. I mean,
So let's dive into the year-long total. How many miles do you guys run in a year, cross country year, actually? I know you don't have an exact number, but what's your guess?
so on average per week we'll get in like 70 because we have long distance
Per
days.
week?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And so what we have shoes, and our shoes come with ratings. It says a rating of 300 miles on them,
Yeah.
and I've been through so many pairs.
Oh
Like just this
my.
year?
Just the past year I've been through like 3 pairs. I mean,
Yikes.
it is we're not on like a same scale as other schools. Our coach
Yeah.
runs us way harder than a lot of other schools.
Yeah. Gotcha. So towards the end of the year, how fast are you guys running those? Like, is the pace go down from 7:45 or does it typically stay there?
It breaks 7.
7?
Yeah, he wants us running like 6:45, 6:40.
Okay. Yeah. How far are you going with the 6:45 pace?
So far we've done like 5, but if he wants like 6 or 7, it'll drop back up to like 7:20
Okay.
around there.
Gotcha. So you guys run a 5K, so 3.2 miles for all the United States people, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I just ran a 5K the other night and I ran a 31.
31
So-
minutes.
Yeah.
So-
Hey, that's not bad.
no.
Okay, so yeah, so when you hear that, you're not like peasant. You're not thinking like what a peasant.
No, to be good at running, it takes so much work, and it's just unreasonable to be faster than like 20 minutes if you don't like run every single day and work hard at it.
20 minutes on a 5K?
Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
for average people to do that, it's unreasonable. And
Yeah.
running's hard in general.
yeah.
Yeah, that definitely it's kind of similar to swim, but like I feel like there's more not variety cuz you can do multiple types of swimming, but like just the change of environment is nice compared to swimming.
That is, yeah. I feel that on the same thing, but for swimming, when I did it, I consider it harder than running.
Yeah.
Way
Okay.
harder.
Oh, really?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Why is that?
Because holding your breath in the water,
Okay.
I think it has something to do with the way I'm built too. Like muscular people tend to burn up a lot more oxygen.
Okay.
And then holding your breath at the same time and trying to move through the pool,
Yeah.
it's rough.
Yeah.
And I can't float.
One thing about this kid, he is built so like strong where he'll dive in and I'll float to the other end of the pool
Yeah.
and he will just sink. Like
He's dense.
he doesn't float.
Okay. So I wouldn't say mine's because of my muscle, but I'm pretty dense. Like I've got really thick bones and stuff. They're really thick
Thick
ankles.
bones.
Thick
and
bones.
Yeah, I am. But yeah, so I could never float either. But interesting. So you feel like the holding your breath, like when you're running, obviously you're able to just breathe like normal, but holding your breath.
Yeah.
Have you had any like when you swim, is it like your lungs that burn? Is that what inhibits you the most, or is it just fatigue in general?
It's pretty much all of it. When I don't notice the lungs burning as much because my whole body is burning. I mean the lactic acid that builds up is so fast and it hits every muscle of the body.
Oh yeah. I see.
Running only hits just the legs pretty much and like
I see what you're saying.
diaphragm stuff right here.
So let's talk about swim a little bit, just because we all come from a swim background, and you know, you talk about how swimming's harder. How much do you think swim has helped you as a runner?
A lot.
Yeah.
I think it helped a lot, especially with my cardiovascular stuff, like
Yeah.
breathing in and like being able to not breathe heavy when I run, due
Mm.
to the fact that I don't need to breathe as much.
Yeah. Do you have a rhythm for your breathing whenever you run?
No,
No, you just breathe
it
kind of however.
it changes. The faster you go, the more I'll be like,
Yeah.
just like sucking in
Gotcha.
air.
So on your jogs, you don't focus on your breathing or anything like that?
On like a jog, I will for training purposes. I will like breathe in through my nose and like I'll try to like hold it for a bit and
Yeah.
then like slowly let it out just to keep
Gotcha.
it relaxed.
So what I've been doing, because I've tried to run like 3 times a week just to get back in shape. I'll breathe for like, I think it's breathe in for 2 steps and then breathe out for 4 steps or something like that. Maybe it's the opposite. I can't remember, but that's kind of like what I go with.
Yeah, I think the idea behind that is it's like altitude training, but you don't have to pay for the mask.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So that's like an enhancement in and of itself.
Yeah.
So like it's a training technique whenever you do that kind of breathing.
Yeah. It's like, for example, it would be almost like a natural way of blood doping.
Oh, okay. Wow.
It's
Fair.
not. It's not blood doping though. It's not. It's like a. It's like a slow process.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Fair
Okay. So just talking about that, do you get a runner's high? Is that a real thing?
It is.
It is for.
It is 100%.
So
real.
describe that. I mean, I don't think I've ever experienced that because the only time I enjoyed running was when I got in the practice of doing about 5 to 8 miles. Whenever that was normal for me, that was enjoyable somewhat. But what does it take to get a runner's high, and like, what's that like?
I think the runner's high is more of like a mindset in general. Like certain people can like force it to happen, and other people it will only happen when they experience like so much lactic acid buildup and like the burn, and then after they just keep pushing through it, it just feels like somebody dumped like cold water on you and it just washes away everything, and then
Okay.
you just don't feel it at all. It's like a cold breeze when you're running.
Interesting. So when you're talking about running and things like this, is that something that started at a young age for you? Like, I don't really know much of your backstory, so it'd be nice to hear, probably for me and for other people who haven't met you, how it started.
It actually started with swimming,
Okay.
like swim practices.
The miles with Susan.
Yes,
Yeah.
1 mile before practice.
It was always a Tuesday. I remember Tuesdays we would go out and run and then hop in the pool. Those days I so wanted to skip every Tuesday. But you got kids like this kid who will go and run, and he'll run like a 5-minute mile and then hop in the pool, and I'm just like, I hate you. I'm gonna be honest. I did not like you.
Oh man.
Like, I know I taught you breaststroke, but I didn't like you. All right.
Okay. So
That's fair.
So you swim under Susan as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever have to do one of the run a mile, swim a mile? Did you ever get to do something like that?
The was that called?
Triathlon
Or was it
aquathon? Yeah, it's one of the two.
Yeah, I did a couple of them.
Yeah.
That wasn't like mandatory, but I was already getting into 5Ks and stuff like that, and that just felt like a step up. And I was like, oh, I need to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. So personally, I kind of enjoyed doing those things, except for the fact that you had to run with a Speedo on, and that was like,
And wet shoes.
oh yeah, that was what made it uncomfortable, because it's like you get out of the pool and you're just like dripping wet, and then you go run a mile and you're just like,
Yeah, the only experience I've had is the mud run we've done, and
oh yeah,
I'll tell you, after you went through the pit of mud,
oh I'm glad they saved it for the end.
yeah, like I thought they waited a little, or they didn't wait long enough, because you had to go through, and then the one wall,
the wall while you were
that
so
was
muddy.
so hard.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's go back into your practices. What's your what was the hardest practice or your least favorite practice from any year?
We have something called repeat miles.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah, it's so you'll run a mile at like coach wanted me specifically at like 5:30. That was a couple years ago, and we'd get like 6 minutes of rest, and then we'd run another one. We did
Yeah.
that 5 times, and it was terrible.
Yeah, I remember those from back when I ran in middle school, and yeah, those were one of the days I almost loved it, but I hated it at the same time because like I wasn't necessarily fast enough to where it made that big of a difference. But they're definitely not fun. I hate stopping and then going again because you just want to stop more, and then the more you stop, the more it gets worse, and not my favorite thing. Let's go to the brighter side. What's one of your favorite practices that you've had?
Definitely a recovery day.
A recovery day.
Well, it's mainly because you go at like such a slow pace. You can like have conversations with your friends on the run.
Yeah.
And you could do something funny and it wouldn't mess with your workout because you're just supposed to be recovering.
Yeah.
And then after the recovery day, of course, you like put ice on and you stretch and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You just feel good after that day.
Yeah.
So on a recovery day, is that something where it's like the intention is just to kind of stay loose, where you you're not going hard, not trying to stress your muscles or anything like that. You're just trying to make sure like lactic acid doesn't just build up and make it to where you get really stiff and stuff like that.
Yeah, pretty much what it is like the whole draining the lactic acid from your legs, and you want to like get your legs warmed up and stuff like that, but you don't want to push it too hard because you still want your muscles and everything to heal.
Okay.
After you, because we normally do them after like a speed workout or a meet.
Okay. So is that something where you're doing that basically any day that you're not pushing yourself, or do you actually have days where you just don't run at all? You just do like maybe mild stretches, or do you have like a day off is basically what I'm saying.
The only day off we have is Sunday, and I really don't do anything on Sunday.
Okay. Yeah. So you're not doing like stretches or anything?
No.
Okay.
I should.
Should be.
I should, but I don't.
Okay.
Is your coach going to be mad that you said you don't stretch on Sundays?
He don't know about this podcast. He don't know about this.
Hey.
We've heard that before.
Ooh.
Yeah. We'll save that for another time. But anyways, so you talked about having a conversation while running. Never in my life will I ever put those two words in myself in a sentence. I can't run and talk.
You can't breathe?
I can breathe, but that's about it. I'm struggling.
You're just struggling to
I'm
breathe.
struggling for air as it is.
Okay.
So talking and running at the same time.
So you need lessons. You need a tutor.
So hard.
That's actually really common for talking and running. It's like how you keep track of how hard you're supposed to be running.
Yeah.
Yeah, for like easy days, you're supposed to be like going at like a good 5 miles running, and you're supposed to be able to say like 5 words before you get like winded.
Okay.
And then hard days is like 1 to 2 words.
Okay. Yeah, I pretty much run and I push myself every time I run because and those off days are recovery days of doing nothing. So
Yeah. I mean, professionals do that too.
Yeah, it's a crazy world. So let's talk about your season so far. What's your best time, like a career best in the 5K?
I don't
fact check them.
Yeah, don't fact check me on this. But I'm pretty sure it's a 16:55 or 16:50.
Okay.
And this was it wasn't in East Newton. East Newton's known for having a fast course, but I don't think it was there.
Okay. Was it this year?
No, it was last year.
Last year?
Yeah, this year is 17:10 so far.
17:10. All right. So we're going in. What was the last meet we just had? Was it
it was the Big 8 conference at
Big 8
Cassville.
conference at Cassville. All right. How'd you do there?
I got third.
Third? All right.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
What schools are we looking at in conference?
East Newton was there. Carl Johnson was there. Springfield Catholic was there, but they're big school.
Yeah.
We smoked them though. We smoked.
Yeah. That's funny because one of our first podcasts, I had mentioned how Springfield Catholic has no good program, but their girls cross country team just won conference, correct?
They did.
Yeah. So I had to retract my statement there because
There's one thing.
they've got good run program.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had a meeting about Springfield Catholic because they were supposed to actually beat us.
Okay.
And our coach is like, our number one needs to beat their number one. Number two beats the number two. And like we did that, except our like 3 and 2 and 4 and 5 just smoked like their third runner.
Okay.
And it just like our coach is super happy that day.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, so I introduced you to a workout this past summer. Did you end up doing that workout?
I did do it.
All right. Do you remember what the workout was?
It was a full 5K, but you run for, was it full sprint, 15 seconds,
Yeah.
and then walk for 45 seconds.
Yeah. How was that workout?
It wasn't too bad actually. I think sprint time should be a little bit longer.
You think so? Maybe you're not sprinting hard enough,
What do you expect, man?
bro. I know, but the sprinting part's the hardest part because you got to make sure you're mentally like, I'm sprinting as fast as I can, giving it my all.
No,
And
I did full sprint.
Yeah.
And 15 seconds, you can get a little bit over a 100 in there.
Yeah,
But I feel like I should hold the sprint for longer.
that's fair. So there's always adjusting you can do with it.
Yeah.
That was just one I read from a Navy SEAL, so I was kind of curious how that would go.
So did you do it?
I've done it. I
Successfully,
haven't done
like-
it for a 5K.
So wait, so have you done it like more than once, or are you just?
Oh no,
like,
dude, I hate it. It sucks. Like, I'll be honest, it's not fun. That 15 seconds is like torture, and the 45 minutes or 45 second, like it feels like the times are reversed. The 15 seconds
yeah.
you run, it feels like forever, and then you're walking for 45 seconds. You look down from the phone because I run with my phone, and then I pull it back up, and I'm like, oh, I'm about to miss it, and yeah. So that was my experience with it.
You get yourself a watch.
Bro, I don't run enough to get a watch. I've got a Apple Watch, but I don't use it. I've
But-
got a Fitbit too. Don't use it because they're both dead.
So you literally have a watch. Yeah, I don't need to get a watch because I don't run enough, but I have 2 watches.
Yeah. Yeah,
you don't need to run a lot.
yeah,
Nobody tell the time. You asking me for the time.
yeah. So going into this next meet, it's actually this Saturday in Lamar at Jeremy's Creek, correct?
Mhm.
What time does that start? Bro, come on.
Listen. I've been gone for a really long time. I've been gone since Friday. I went to a college visit, and then I went to a Skills USA competition.
Okay, interesting.
But I'm pretty sure it's gonna be around like. Don't quote me on this because
I'm gonna
Um,
quote you on this.
I don't even think he's told anybody else this because it's it's still a couple days out.
Yeah,
But it's 5 o'clock. I'm gonna give it a solid. Nah, somebody.
bro. Your mom told me you run at 11, so that's what time I'm showing up. Like 10:50.
How my mom figured it out?
I don't know, but I kind of just like asked your mom this morning because she was on the phone with my boss, and yeah, so I was like, "What time's Cameron run this weekend?"
Yeah, I run a 11.
Yeah, good answer. Good answer. Definitely something Coach Baldridge is gonna love to see.
He loves me.
Yeah.
I'm his favorite, actually.
I doubt that. I don't trust a word you say. You're never anybody's favorite, bro.
Shots fired.
Go for it.
Oh wow, just throw me
On the
bus here.
spot, bro.
Okay. Well, so whenever you prepare for a meet or something like that, is there anything in particular that you do mentally before, like the week before, or like training? Does that kind of slow down to where you're doing more?
Of a taper. That's the word you're looking for.
Yeah, I know exactly what that means. So
Yeah.
We do taper before a meet.
okay, so what is that?
It'd be like a 3 mile, like little. I wouldn't say recovery. It's like a
All right,
slow.
So what a
cool down.
taper is, you're basically in the middle of the season, you kind of like max, like maybe 2 weeks before a big meet, you like max out your production, at least in the swim world.
Yeah.
You'll max out your production of how many like miles/yards you're doing. And then as you start getting closer to that meet, you lower your amount, but like it's like harder almost. Like you're sprinting more than you are, but you're getting a lot of recovery time while doing it.
Yeah, that's almost exactly what we
Okay.
did today. Because we're
Yeah.
coming up. I mean, right after this next meet, which is districts, is
Yeah.
state.
Yeah.
So we did 12 200s
12,200
with like 50 seconds of rest.
Okay. So it is pretty similar to swim and what we do for taper.
Okay.
I kind of want to go into kind of what he had, but what's the warm up routine for like pre-meet?
Oh, pre-meet. They want us just jog until you like feel good, which is normally like a little bit over half a mile.
Okay.
And then they want us doing like a whole bunch of like, they're not static stretches,
Dynamic stretching.
dynamic stretching. Yeah.
Yeah. We've had plenty of conversations about dynamic stretching over here at the football field. And is there like any like what is the word I'm looking for? Because it's like something you do before every meet. Like it's not a ritual.
Tradition?
No, like do you have any like superstitions? That's what I'm looking for.
Oh,
Never wash your underwear or something?
Never cut your hair?
I have one.
What is it?
I actually washed my jersey because I believed that a little bit, but then I ran bad one day, so I was like, this can't be true. But what happened when I ran bad that one day was I was wearing underwear underneath my shorts, and I usually don't do that. So then the next meet, I went free balling, and
it worked for you.
I got third at
All
conference,
right.
so it works.
So
It works.
for those of you video cameraing, make sure not to video camera Cameron, because
No, we have interneting on our shorts. It's like,
bro,
it's tighter than swim trunks.
you know those clothing malfunctions happen quite often.
Oh. Okay. Okay, but I think out of all of us, maybe you have, I don't know, but I think you're the only one that's worn an actual Speedo.
I haven't worn a Speedo.
Yes, you have.
I have not.
Not once?
Not
I thought
once.
there was one time that you did on a dare or something
Nope.
like that.
I have never wore a Speedo.
Okay, so none of us have.
Nope. Actually, this guy might have. I feel like out of anybody, it would
confess.
be him.
I haven't.
In front of the United States of America, have you worn a Speedo?
I have not worn specifically a Speedo.
I don't think any of us have.
So we all have our dignity.
Yeah, unlike Carson and Aiden, who have not.
Yeah. Well,
because they've both worn Speedos.
good for them.
Yeah.
They're braver than all of us.
Yep. Any other questions? I got one. What's the expectations going into this meet?
Expectation. Definitely. I'm going to definitely try to do better last time.
Yeah.
We had a home meet last time. I ran so bad, got dehydrated, and I strained my hamstring.
Ooh, that's another question. How much water do you drink? This dude doesn't drink water, does he? Oh my.
I got water right here.
Yeah, it hasn't been opened. We've been here an hour and he hasn't opened it once.
I was getting my electrolytes from this tea.
Bro. That chug, 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 chug.
Oh, I hate water so much.
Bro, that's depressing.
Oh, man.
I drink. Man, I drink like 4 bottles a day. It's supposed to be a gallon a day. I'm not too keen on it.
Coach Baldridge is gonna watch this entire podcast. I'm gonna send it directly to him.
Whoa.
No, I can't do you like that. But yeah, definitely not the words from like as your coach, because I was your coach, and
could still be my coach. You
yeah.
Are you gonna do the winter swim?
I am doing it currently. Yeah.
It's too late to sign up.
No.
You're lying to me.
No. Anybody can sign up. We'll take it till December 1st. You ain't gonna sign up. I know better.
Probably.
Yeah, no, I know better.
My swim career was destroyed
Yeah.
when we lost the pool.
Yeah. Unfortunate
Oh,
events.
man.
Yeah.
We should talk about that. That's not something you're passionate about.
I don't want to talk about that right
About to
now.
get political up in here.
That would be an entire 3-hour segment, and we're not
Okay.
going to talk about that today.
Today.
You
But
know,
we will.
When the football season ends, we're going for it, bro.
Okay.
I promise you that'll be one of the first things we talk about.
We're gonna use our, so we got Mike Kelly and then us.
Yeah.
We're gonna use our rank number 14
Yep.
in this town of Lamar, and we're gonna use that level of influence to try and get a pool back.
absolutely.
So the story behind that goes, I guess there was this website. It's probably some like
It's not up to date by any means.
yeah. This but it's
Fair.
like top 15. It only went to 13, but top whoever famous people from Lamar, and 8 of them were Wyatt Earp or his family.
Yeah.
So like that's basically all we're known for. Obviously, Harris Truman was the number one.
I was about to say, yeah.
But yeah, so number 13 was Mike Kelly. And so our goal is to supplant him. We're going to try and be 13 and climb our way up. And I think we were comfortable with being number 3 or 4.
Yeah,
number 3.
Number 3.
Because there's Harris Truman, Wyatt Earp, and then us is what we're wanting to be.
We definitely want to be number 3 on that list by the end of our careers and this podcast.
Yeah. So
what if I become number 3?
Bro, we're going to have to beat you. I'm just going to be honest. We can't let you outdo us.
But hey, if you're number 3, why? I mean, how do you think you got there?
Yeah.
It's because of
right
us.
here.
So then we're number 2 at that point.
That is true.
Exactly.
That is true.
I mean,
maybe one day we'll dethrone Wyatt Earp because Harris Truman is somehow like 2 or 3.
Harris Truman's 1.
Was he 1?
Yeah.
Wyatt Earp was 2?
Wyatt Earp was 2.
Okay,
We'd be 3.
I was about to say, he's the one who dropped that bomb, so.
Yeah, I think most people know who that guy is. Yeah.
Yeah. That goes back to my question that one day at the garage or at your grandma's at the garage sale. with if we were to go at war with Japan again, we'd be the first place they'd go for.
Oh man, well probably.
Actually, I don't think so. I don't think they want to repeat.
Oh, that because they already know what's up.
Yeah, they know what's up.
That's fair.
Well, and they don't have any nuclear weapons. We won't allow them. So, yeah, they got nothing. Oh man.
Any other run questions or?
Okay, I've got one now that we're on the
question?
topic of the end of the world, World War III, and everything. Okay.
All
right. How long are you surviving? We go back to like Stone Age, no electricity, no Wi-Fi. I mean, are you kind of built for that kind of life, or are you kind of like, I kind of like my luxury?
I want you to read a shirt. It says Skills USA. All right, continue.
Hey, people can wear. Look, I wore a hoodie earlier that said College of the Ozarks baseball.
True.
So
and you ain't playing baseball.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
But
Continue.
anyways, how comfortable you feel?
I feel pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starting fires,
Oh yeah.
All I'm
getting
saying,
your own meat.
I wouldn't even like. There'd be like bugs and stuff like that. I wouldn't even hesitate. I'll just pop them in.
No problem.
all I'm
Survival.
saying is, if it comes down to the end of the world and I have to rely on somebody, I'm hooking up with Cameron because,
Dude.
He's got you covered.
yeah,
Okay.
he's a handy man.
But like, how smart are we during this? Like, do we have our
You have
like
your knowledge
that
of
we
right
have
now.
Th-
Yeah.
Oh, right now? Yo, yeah, we can definitely
Yeah.
survive. We
Yeah.
can make tools so fast.
So like
stone tools.
stone tools. So you're all about that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Watch you watch the guy that makes the knife rocks?
Oh
Like,
yeah. He's got a big old beard and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you could live like that. You could be that guy.
I wouldn't love it, but I could do it.
Yeah. So you would like that for like, so you like camping and stuff like that. You'd go out for a week and just
Oh yeah.
pitch up a tent.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
What?
How long are you surviving? Without him. You can't have him.
By myself.
Yeah, by yourself.
Like, do I have my house?
I mean, your house, but with no electricity.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I believe in you.
I mean, I don't know how far I'm gonna go based off of not drinking water, but
Yeah, you got to be able to get clean water. You got to be able to get food. So
On
like once
my
the canned
own?
food runs out, you got to be able to like eat bugs. You got to be
on
able
my
to do
own,
that
I'm
or
not
get.
lasting very long. I'm gonna be honest.
So yeah, you're toast.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
like that's why like I'll be the like stay at home person that
Stay at home person.
the
Who's gonna
security
go
guard.
out?
No, you like Cameron, not me.
What? We're not living in
You
some
don't-
community, bro.
No, I'd build a community. I'd president a community.
Okay,
Like-
Mr. Cult Leader.
Completely by yourself, I feel like all of us eventually would die if we didn't have
Oh
somebody.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, maybe.
But
I mean, you eventually you're gonna die, but I'm saying like, I'm talking about like you're gonna be able to last like a while, like food,
like till your
food,
natural
water,
death.
shelter. You're gonna be able to get those 3 things: food, water, shelter.
have you ever watched Alone?
No,
No.
Those people lose their minds on that show. They go insane.
Oh, I see. So you're talking just the psyche of it all. You're just gonna.
yeah.
that's
Okay.
fair. I honestly, I kind of agree with that. Like,
Yeah. Well, I hate being alone. So
yeah,
yeah.
that's fair. That's
It's rough. Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely rough.
Yeah.
Anything
So-
else?
Okay. Well, so do you follow any sports? Do you have any favorite teams or anything like that you keep up with?
I like I don't watch football like avidly,
Yeah.
but I do enjoy watching the Chiefs.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's right. Pacheco. Right?
Say it.
Okay.
I do like Pacheco.
And why?
at least I'm not saying Mahomes.
That's true. I mean, that's fair. But why?
He's small. Right, little itty bitty guy. Boom, right through the line. Boom, every time. Well, not every time, but most of the time. I mean, it's pretty cool to watch him.
So was he the one who ended up taking he slid down at like the 1 yard line in the Super Bowl? Was that him or was that Allaire?
No, that was him.
That was him. Okay. Yeah. So he's kind of beloved by people because he's a good player and he could have scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl, decided not to win the game.
What an idiot.
Don't go in and score. Yeah, don't secure the game out. I mean, yeah.
What an idiot. Score the ball.
We know what you do.
I'm scoring the ball.
Yeah,
I'm selfish.
Yeah. So you like the Chiefs all your life, just kind of growing up being a Chiefs fan?
Yeah.
Okay. So you went through the dark ages.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
That's fair. I can respect that. I don't like seeing some of these guys that are like Chiefs fans in the last 2 or 3 years. That's kind of
they switch teams.
Yeah, that's like they went from being Patriots fans to Chiefs fans, and it's like, that's not cool, bro.
It's unloyal.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
I just had to check.
Are there any other sports you're interested in, or
I like to watch UFC.
UFC? Okay.
It's one of the more interesting ones.
Yeah.
I'd put it like number 1 at interesting to watch.
Fair. Do you have a favorite fighter?
I think you know who I'm gonna say.
I don't have a clue.
Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor.
Okay.
He's hilarious
Fair enough.
to watch. I mean, he advertises himself so well. I mean, you could if he pops up on TV, how are you not supposed to watch that? I mean, it's just entertainment at its finest.
I'm a pretty big Habib Nurmagomedov fan, if that's
Say
how
that
you
again?
say it. Nurmagomedov.
Say that again.
I just said it.
Say it again.
No, Nurmagomedov. I'm probably butchering it.
Yeah. Well, I just need that for the clip. Afterward, I'll just put it on repeat, and we'll see how funny you look whenever you're saying that 10 times in a row.
But yeah, I like him, and he beat Conor, so
that is fair. Conor's not a good wrestler. I
No.
would say. Dustin Poirier kind of whooped him, but
yeah.
I still like watching him. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
I watched Sugar Sean fight the other month, and he ended up winning the ship. So it's always entertaining. I'm actually going to a Rampage Jackson. He has a league, and I'm going to Arizona in December to watch the championship fights because it's just started, and all their champions are gonna get decided that day. So
that sounds awesome.
Yeah,
actually.
it's pretty lit. I'm gonna
really
be honest,
awesome.
And I'm part of like a media crew, so I get to roam around wherever I want for
What?
free.
You're part of a media crew? What does that even mean?
So there's this guy I'm friends with who does like TikTok and stuff, and he basically his job is like he's a stage director, so like he'll help people get places, and he just basically gets whatever he wants anywhere because that's his job. So
Okay. But what do you do?
I videotape him.
Oh,
roaming
you
around.
videotape
Yeah,
him.
and then we have a friend that we've played video games with that is a UFC fighter. So
Okay.
he not in the UFC yet, could be eventually.
Huh.
He's in the UFL. The UFL is what it's called. So
Interesting.
definitely look out for that. December something, I don't remember, but yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, we'll have to talk more about that. I don't really know much about that world or anything like that, but interesting.
Yeah.
Would you ever fight, wrestle, anything like that?
I wish we had MMA stuff at
Yeah.
our school. I would definitely take it, or wrestling in general. I feel like
Okay.
I'd just be better at that.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fun.
All right. Well, Cameron, we appreciate you coming on and joining us and answering some questions about anything and everything. And we wish you the best of luck this Saturday and
Thank
at
you.
State.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into some high school football. We've got a bye week this week, and here's the bracket we've got going for us. And Class 2, we are in the top right corner, obviously the bye week like we said, and we will play the winner of Sarcoxy versus Diamond on November 3rd. A home game for us for sure. Against Sarcoxy or Diamond, and I don't have any knowledge on either of these teams.
Yeah. The only thing that I can think of is we've played these teams. I mean, in the past.
Yeah,
But at least
obviously.
Sarcoxy.
Yeah,
we played. They're in our. Yeah, of course we played them.
Uh-huh.
So do we have any information on how those games went?
Yeah. I don't know about against us, but this year, let's take a look at Sir Coxie. They've actually won 8 games this year.
Okay. So a good year.
Granted, they've played a lot of easier teams, and the one they've played. I'm looking at it, and they've actually played Diamond before. They beat Diamond 39-13. So
okay, so Sarcoxie's more than likely the bet to come out of this.
Sarcoxie's more than likely going to be the team that we face. So,
okay. Yep.
That said, they've played 1, 2, 3 teams with a winning record, and they're 2-1. The one team that will probably make it in the playoffs is Marionville. I believe they're Class 1. I could be wrong.
Okay.
They were 9-0, and they beat Sarcoxie 42-6. So obviously, we shouldn't struggle against Sarcoxie.
Yeah.
I don't expect us to struggle
Yeah.
at all going into this game, into districts and whatever. So let's run down kind of our bracket. I don't want to get into the other brackets in depth, but Adrian versus Stockton and Sheldon is on the lower half of our bracket. And then we've got Butler and El Dorado Springs, which I feel like Adrian will be the team that comes out of that part, and we'll play them in the district championships.
Okay. Yeah. So you think we'll struggle at all till we get later on into the playoffs?
You don't want to ever say that we won't struggle, because every team has their chances, and you just don't know what to expect with these teams, because who knows, a team that doesn't play a good team, they're not necessarily just gifted. They've just never had the chance to beat that good team.
Right. Yeah.
So you kind of just want to look out for that. And I'm looking at Adrian's, and they're 9-0 as well. So
okay.
Definitely blown out the teams they've played.
There's some winning teams in here.
They played Liberty Mountain View, which we've played previously in past playoffs. They beat them 46-28. I'm not. They're 6-3 this year, so
yeah,
not great, not horrible, but yeah, that might be a good game. I think that could be the first game we actually have to focus up on, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which obviously it'll be our second game into playoffs because we get the bye week. And but yeah, if you want to scroll down to the lower half of our scroll back up real quick of our quarterfinal bracket, we see Lafayette County, and they'll be going up against Lone Jack / Kingsville, and Lone Jack / Kingsville lost to Adrian pretty bad. So I don't. Lafayette County is going to be the team out of this.
Yeah.
That pops up, and will probably be our quarterfinals matchup. I don't really see any of the top 10 teams on here from Adrian's ranked 6th.
Okay.
In Class 2, so that's something to keep our eye out for in the district quarterfinals. If you want to scroll down to the bottom half of what would be our semifinals bracket, we see South Shelby's kind of covered up by the hometown logo there on the right-hand side of the screen. This is a team I've been big on for the past 4 or 5 weeks. Beat Centralia, top 5 ranked Class 3 team. So I expect them to go into this. Bowling Green, we see them there. Definitely a good team, 9-0. They've kind of ran up the score on some teams. Monroe City's ranked 10th. So that little district right there has 3 of the top 10 teams.
Oh, okay.
So
we'll likely see our toughest team at state.
Yeah. Well, or semifinals.
Oh, yeah.
State's on the left side of it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay.
But yeah, I definitely kind of predict that our toughest team will be this. The semifinals game will possibly be our state championship game, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
According to what I've read, and just a little bit I'm kind of on the South Shelby bandwagon. Like,
well, we all know where your bandwagons lead to.
straight down the dumpster fire.
Yep. I cannot wait till we get done with high school.
Right. Also, if we want to go down to the bottom half of their quarterfinals bracket, you see East Buchanan. So South Shelby versus East Buchanan. They're number 3 and number 7 ranked teams. They're gonna have to battle, man. So I think that's an advantage for us. Is this little area of the bracket has been a little bit clustered with those top 10 teams.
Yeah.
You just don't know what to expect, who gets home team or home field advantage, and how much does home field advantage mean for these teams that haven't like been to state, because it's pretty much been Lamar and then a couple of private schools that have been bumped up to Class 3.
Yeah.
So there's that. Do you have anything you want to say? Like Bowling Green, we kind of have a connection with.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, but
yeah. I mean, I feel like it's gonna be interesting. This will probably be the first time I've really like zoned in.
Yeah.
And been more focused on the process. You know what I mean? Like I've always watched some of the games and watched the state game, of course. But it'll be interesting for me at least to kind of zone in and kind of get an understanding of, how this all plays out and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to kind of get to grow in my understanding and be able to share that with people on the podcast. But
yeah,
I think that it'll be interesting to see how far Bowling Green gets, just because we know some people around that area and stuff like that. But
so 8 out of the top 10 teams out of the Ozone rankings are on the right side of the bracket. So that pretty much leaves a clear, wide open path for the left side of the bracket. Let's scroll back up to the top real quick here. And we've got Valley Catholic, who we beat a couple years ago in a game that was probably one of the most hyped up games, because it was 2 teams who hadn't lost in years.
Yeah.
And I believe that was them. And it was the national, like the high school national win record streak holder, and Valley Catholic versus Lamar, who, if Lamar beat them, they were going to be the win holder, whatever it's called, streak holder. I think that was them a couple years ago.
That sounds right to me. Yeah.
So they're obviously ranked in the top 4. They're 4th. And then you've got Caruthersville. I feel like we've played them in previous years, but outside of that, I don't see anybody that looks familiar. We've got Jefferson out of Festus. I think they just dropped out of the top 10 a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
St. Pius X. I feel like we played them last. I can't remember I don't remember who we played last year at state. Let me do some research if you want to stall a little bit.
Here we go. Stalling again.
Stalling.
Yeah. So, I mean, just from where I'm sitting, the only game, there's only been like, 1 or 2 games that have been even close when it comes to our state games. I feel like most of them have been kind of one-sided.
Like out of the ones we've won?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then like we've lost a couple, and then there were a couple others that were close. Maybe one that I'm thinking of. But
we lost to Blair Oaks last year. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, last year people thought there was a little bit of controversy. They had 12 men on the field for the final play, so a little bit of controversy there. We had an illegal lineman downfield that people thought was a little questionable, but when you get to the state title game, you want to make sure that you don't leave it up to the refs to make that decision for you.
See, I disagree with that mentality. We're going to get into this, I guess.
Let's get into it a little bit.
So here's my thought process. If you don't want to leave it up to the refs, then don't have refs there at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand big moments, you want to see the players play it out. But if in the big moment the players play it out and one side goes a little too far, it's technically you're breaking the rules. And so I don't think there's any reason to be mad at a ref if he makes the right call. Now, obviously, there's been times where they're humans and they make mistakes, and it's like, there's not much you can do about that. But I would rather them try and make the right call than to be like, I'm going to let the players figure it out. Because, I mean, think about it. You're basketball, football, whatever, but like in basketball, you go and there's 2 seconds left. You go and try and make a layup. You get hacked on the arm. Leave it up to the players. Like, no, he absolutely inhibited your ability to score, and that's in an illegal way.
Yeah, but you look at it, and there was mistakes that the team made that you could clean up, and you're winning the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Yeah,
but that's what I'm kind of getting at. There's like little things before that you could have done better as a team, to eliminate where the refs make that decision.
So you're saying as a team, you don't know what the refs are going to do, so your mentality's got to be, we got to win the game on our terms.
Yeah. Which is what I was getting at.
Okay, I thought you were saying that you don't want refs calling anything.
No.
In like fourth quarter.
No, they've got to call if they see it.
Okay.
But I'm just saying.
The reason I was curious about that is because there are some people who complain in the NFL. About late in games, you got to let the players decide the game, not refs.
We'll get into that.
Because
this week was. We'll get into that. Anyways, let's take a look. So I don't, like we said, Father Tolton is in the other side of the bracket, as well as Fairgrove, Liberty, Mount View. It's gonna be Valley Catholic or some no-name team in this side of the bracket.
Yeah.
I really don't know who to say. Like, Father Tolton might come out and win it. I'm curious if they're a private school or not. But we'll figure that out once the time comes. We don't want to jump to conclusions that we'll even make it.
Yeah.
December 2nd at 3 p.m. Saturday will be the state championship game. I've got a swim meet I've got to go to.
What a bum.
Dude, I know. It sucks, but I got to coach.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, you're leaving me to be the one out there doing all the interviews and everything. I got to rep for everybody,
bro,
man.
You've got your hands full with that.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the high school part.
It is time, ladies and gentlemen.
No, not yet. We're gonna do our awards ceremony type deal.
You're gonna make me wait.
Next weekend, or not next weekend, but this weekend, Saturday. We'll try to do a little college, or not college, but end of regular season awards type deal for the high school.
Yeah.
Just our high school, because we don't know anybody else.
Wow.
So we'll do that this Saturday, and we look forward to it. And that's that. We'll move on.
Alrighty. It is time. I'm going to put it on you.
Bro. No, we've got to, like, break intro music. No, I'm just kidding. I hate this, bro.
This is your moment of shame.
Oh, it just broke. Could you imagine? All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the NFL portion of this podcast.
Cheeseheads.
And let me just tell you, this sucks.
Dude, you were so confident. You were like, it's not even going to be close, man. I said flip of a coin. You're like, nah, bro. What'd you say about Jordan Love?
Bro.
Didn't you draft him?
I traded for him this week. I traded Mike Evans for Jordan Love.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Granted,
bro.
I had Chris Olave and somebody else.
Well, Chris Olave, didn't he get arrested for something?
He got arrested for criminal speeding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's not a big deal. Like, it's a big deal, but it's not like beating somebody.
He's not done.
He's not Alvin Kamara. Yeah. But no, yeah. The helmet of shame has officially been worn. And
what do I do for the fact that I chose against my favorite team and then they ended up winning?
Bro.
I mean, that's not like a shame thing. It's kind of just
that's shameful, bro.
I mean,
that's shameful.
It was the ugliest one I've ever seen. We scored 14 and we're like, we're done.
Bro.
We're just going to hold on here.
Okay, go defense. Speaking of this, we'll get into that game. Like, man, I just want to, let's just get into it. The refs this week sucked, bro.
They've been kind of worse over, like, this season's been pretty bad.
No, it hasn't been that bad though. Like, I haven't like seen any calls where I'm like, this was across the board, college and NFL. Like, the Iowa game, they had a punt return that would have won them the game, but they did the punt return, and then they reviewed it to see if he stepped out of bounds, and then they said he waived for a fair catch when he was just doing the Peter get out of the way type deal, and they said it was a fair catch after they reviewed. How does that make sense?
Well, on the review, you can review if they did a fair catch or not.
But that's not what they were reviewing. They were reviewing if he stepped out of bounds.
Oh, well, I think you're allowed to make changes too.
But he didn't fair catch. Like, it wasn't even close. Yeah. He was just telling people to get out of the way. And then he caught it. And then nobody else on the field thought he waved for a fair catch because everybody went to tackle him.
Yeah.
And then everybody was still blocking. All the coaches were yelling. No signs of a fair catch.
Huh. Yeah.
That was ridiculous. I stayed up Saturday night, watched the Washington game.
Yeah.
They missed so many calls on both teams, obviously. But it's ridiculous, man.
Yeah. That's, I don't know. Refs are kind of like what would you call it? They're like I'm trying to think of the right word. They're like a tangible personification of human fallibility. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like when players make mistakes, it's like, okay, you just kind of expect to see things like that.
Yeah.
But when a ref does it, for whatever reason, it just kind of exemplifies it to where it's just out of proportion. You know what I mean? Because their mistakes are obviously a lot more consequential most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a frustrating thing as a fan to see.
I want to get into this real quick. The Arizona Diamondbacks have beat the Philadelphia Phillies.
They won tonight?
They won.
Oh my goodness.
And they are going to the World Series.
That's insane.
We're getting a Rangers Diamondbacks World Series.
Didn't you call that? Or you wanted it?
That's what I wanted the most.
Yeah.
I thought that Houston was going to come and win out, or I said Houston was going to come and win out after game 2. And they won 3 games in a row, and then they kind of lost. The Astros-Rangers game series, no home team won a game that series.
Yeah,
Isn't that crazy?
Weird.
I feel like that's never happened before in any sport. Not that I can remember.
Huh. I'm sure it's happened.
It's probably happened once, but it's not not often.
Yeah.
So anyways, let's go back. Crazy stuff. Had to touch on that. Where are we? We were talking about refs. All right, let's talk about this first game. The Indianapolis Colts took on the absolute dogs of Cleveland. And did you watch or see any of that game?
Yeah.
Did you see the end of it?
So I watched Red Zone a lot that day, and I saw a lot of the highlights and stuff from the game. So it was weird. I mean, it was one of those games where it's like, what is happening? This was supposed to be like a defensive slugfest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like 13-10 or something like that. And then all of a sudden you've got
Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, Gardner Minshew going crazy, and you got Myles Garrett scoring or causing 2 turnovers that led to points and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a wild game. And are you ready to declare Myles Garrett as the defensive?
I'm not ready to declare anything except for the refs suck, bro. How are you calling that pass interference? Did you see that? The very final play, like the second to last play?
I think I saw it, but I can't. I've heard
the ball was.
I can't remember it.
The ball bounced into the crowd.
Oh, the one that was uncatchable.
Yes.
Yeah.
How is that pass interference?
Yeah, that wasn't pass interference.
That screwed the Browns over. The one before, I can kind of get whatever. Yeah, the Colts.
Yeah, because that gave them first and goal.
First and goal from the one.
From the one with plenty of time.
Yeah,
they ended up doing 3 passes, and then on 4th down they ran. So they stopped them. The Colts stopped them 7 times.
Yeah,
and then finally gave way to the best.
The Colts should be 4-3 right now.
You think so?
Yeah.
Huh?
They're 3-4. They should have won that game. They got that game stolen by the refs.
Yeah, it was a bad call.
So
What down was that on?
it was
Was
like
that a third down?
third or fourth, I think.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
either way, it was from like the 15 to the 1.
Yeah, they were down by 6.
Yeah.
So couldn't kick the field goal. Yeah, so that call did decide the game
Mhm.
effectively
Oh,
to some
absolutely.
extent. Yeah, that's tough.
It was heartbreaking. Like, obviously we both picked the Browns here, so we love it, but
Yeah.
as a person who likes the Colts, you're absolutely pissed off at this.
Yeah.
Uh what's up with Deshaun?
I mean, he's not good. I mean, it just kind of comes down to that. I mean, I think we've seen enough tape from him to know that he's definitely not what he was,
Mhm.
and no surprise there. But he's not. He's just not come back well. And I don't know what to make of that. You know, like how what causes a quarterback to go from, you know, previous success to some extent to no. What are you doing, bro?
I'm drinking some water, bro.
I'm gonna pan over here. This guy's trying to get out of his moments of shame. You got to wear that the whole time, my friend. No, no, I don't know what causes quarterback decline like that. Like Cam Newton, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like this dude played like
MVP
4 plays and then was gone again.
Well, I don't know about his injury or whatever happened to him there, but I'm talking about like in general, like quarterback decline, because like Peyton Manning,
He's been out of the league for a couple years. That's all it is.
Yeah, but do you think that means that given enough time, he's going to come back to what he was?
I mean, give it a couple years, maybe.
You think so? You think that he could get back to that level where he's
MVP level? I don't think he'll get there. But I think he can be a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah. Okay. So you're not really concerned about him long term.
I definitely have some concern. I feel like he can get back there, but I don't know that he will get back there.
Do you think Russell Wilson can?
He's too old.
So age is
age is Russell Wilson's problem.
So you're saying Wilson? Well, how do you explain going from there was a slight decline,
Coach.
But that's so. But so you say if you this year you put him back in that system instead of Geno,
doing the same thing.
He's doing what he was before.
Oh, you're talking like Pete? No, I'm talking like from Nathaniel Hackett to Sean Payton.
Oh,
that's why he's done. Nathaniel Hackett was such a bad coach that Russell was not good.
Okay.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to another game where we both got this one wrong. Your dad's team was an absolute embarrassment, bro.
Oh yeah.
The Las Vegas Raiders lost to the Bears. What on earth is going on down there?
Well, there was a coach's interview like a couple weeks ago, whenever their last loss was.
Yeah.
And he was saying that felt like they were on the verge of getting it figured out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, at that point, it was kind of like hard to believe. But now it's kind of like, well, what did he mean by that? You know, because obviously it's translated to winning. Whatever they figured out has translated to winning. So whether that's getting the whole team bought into something, whether that's getting a system down that previously players didn't have a good grasp on, I don't know. But for whatever reason, they figured something out where they're starting to win games against some winnable games. I mean, the Raiders are not a good team.
No.
So, I mean, I don't know. There's something about it, but I did not think they would pull this out without Justin Fields.
I didn't either. I don't know what the Raiders are doing not starting Aiden O'Connell. Brian Hoyer started.
Yeah, I would put Aiden in.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, if you're trying to keep Devontae Adams there, you need to build a relationship with these quarterbacks that are going to be there next year.
Yeah.
Brian Hoyer, not going to be there next year. Aiden O'Connell's the future of this team. I don't know if he's the future of this team, but for right now, he's probably the guy they're looking at.
The foreseeable future.
Yeah. And
honestly, though, that team might just need to
they're going to have to move on.
Yeah, because I don't think Devontae Adams wants to stay there anymore.
No, not anymore.
Yeah.
With the coach they have, no, I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the biggest upset this week. Well, I said that last week too. I don't know which one's a bigger upset. We've got the Buffalo Bills going into New England and losing to the Patriots.
Yeah.
29-25. Honestly, this one kind of makes sense after I thought about it.
So I think I mentioned I thought the Bills would win because I it's one of those things where you think that they're just better than the other team, but then as soon as I saw Josh Allen first play from scrimmage throw an interception, I'm like, yeah, they're not going to win this game.
Yeah.
Like, for whatever reason, this is what I said on the last episode. He plays to the level of the team he's playing.
You did say that.
And it's like, for whatever reason, if he needs to score 60 points to lose to the Chiefs by 1 point, he's going to do it.
Yeah.
If he's going to, whatever it takes to be at the same level, other than random blowout wins. Like sometimes, like somehow they just pull that out and say, okay, we're going to be dominant today. But I think that just comes down to, in my opinion, that comes down to a level of coaching, because if you have the talent to blow teams out, that means that you have the talent to win close games. And so for this game, somebody's got to tell Josh Allen, dude, you're costing us games by just going out there like against the Patriots. Unless you do get like just one of those games where you're just on it and you're destroying them. Like I think the Cowboys beat them by a lot. Unless you're just in one of those games, you got to know that most Patriot games are close games because their defense is good. They have a good defensive coach and they have good defensive players. And so to go in there and just make those mistakes again, somebody's got to get in his face and say, good mechanics, check down, make the right reads. Don't put us in a position where you have to play hero ball, because people will say, oh, at the end of the game, he gave him a chance to win. It's like, against the Patriots?
Yeah.
You were 9-point favorites.
Yeah.
This is not like a heroic, like, oh, you put your life down for the team.
No,
it's like,
this is depressing.
Bro, this was on you.
Yeah.
You should have had a much better game than this.
Yeah. I agree. And Mac Jones kind of looked pretty good this game. I'm going to be honest. He looked like he actually knew what he was doing. He didn't throw an interception this game.
Yeah.
And it looked clean from him. And Bill got his 300th win, so congratulations to him. But like you said, Josh and the Bills just play down to the other team's level, and it's honestly just time that they maybe look into a new coach.
Yeah, I think it's time to get a coach. So think about the way that Brian Daboll is on the sidelines. He's not afraid to get in people's faces.
Yeah.
So when he was there with the Bills, Josh Allen was at his best. He got in his face. He was confrontational. He said, you're sticking with the fundamentals. We're going to make you into a good quarterback who doesn't make as many mistakes.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to like have the amount of touchdowns that he has, but then there was that, what was it, last year that he had like 30 interceptions or something crazy? It's like, dude, you just can't do that if you're planning to win. Like this team's, even in their stadium, have you seen the, what's it called? In their practice facility, they have that banner that's like the Super Bowl thing.
Okay.
And so it's like, if that's your, like every team is kind of like Super Bowl. But then at the beginning of the year, it's like, for the Giants last year, winning a playoff game was like, dude, like that was awesome. But like for the Bills, it's like, okay, you're going to make it to the playoffs and you've done that for years now. Now what? You know, the expectation, like the 49ers, they even made it to a Super Bowl, didn't win. And so it's like there's different levels of expectations. And so for this team, Josh Allen's got to be better. It's not all on him, but I think he needs the right coach to keep him in check.
Yeah, I agree. Let's move on to your team here.
Yes, sir.
The Commanders lost 7-14 in what was an absolute thriller of a game.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I told you Tyrod was going to pull this one out.
Here's what we do, okay? I don't know what we can get for him. I don't know if we can get anything for him.
Anything.
We need to just get rid of Daniel Jones, trade Saquon, and then just let Tyrod cook for the rest of the year. Get a couple wins. Call it good.
My goodness.
Dude, what is happening?
Who are you drafting, though?
I don't care.
You don't care.
All I know is that if I was so hesitant to blame Daniel Jones because of the offensive line, and then Tyrod comes in with the same offensive line, and he doesn't look fantastic, but he made quick throws, and this is what blows my mind, okay? So we go from multiple games where we are not getting the ball to Darren Waller and Hyatt, our rookie receiver. And then all of a sudden, Tyrod comes in, and who do we get the ball to? We get the ball downfield to Hyatt, and we get the ball to Darren Waller a couple times.
Yep.
And so it's like, was Daniel Jones just not able to get it there? Because that's not coaching at that point. If one player comes in and does it and the other one couldn't, it's not coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in my opinion, I'm starting to doubt Daniel Jones's.
Yep.
There's just,
why do you sign somebody who hasn't proven himself?
it's hard. It's because you want stability. That's probably what they're looking for. We want a guy who he may not be the best, but for the next 5 years, we want someone to build around, and then maybe we'll.
He's not even top 15 though. He's not gonna win a division.
Well, the hope. Yeah. Well,
like what do you expect from Daniel Jones? Like, I'm sorry, Duke isn't a football school.
No, but I mean, he obviously came out of Duke as an exceptional quarterback.
Yeah,
talent.
He had promise, but
he's a good athlete, and he's able to get. He's got a good deep arm.
Yeah.
But for some reason, that's what I'm.
It's got to be.
It's got to be up here.
Yeah.
Because he's got the arm talent to get the ball in places.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of those things where all of a sudden Tyrod comes in and it's going to his tight end where it needs to go and stuff. And so it's like, and the ball came out very quickly. Daniel Jones holds on to the ball and fumbles a lot, which is obviously a big problem.
Yeah.
So anyways.
Let's talk about the other team, man. The Commanders suck. You talked about how Daniel Jones was sacked a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And the Commanders.
Sam Howell got. I didn't realize how bad he's had this year.
I did not realize.
He's on pace for a record.
Yeah, it's bad. I can't. Let me see how many sacks did the Giants get last night?
So we had at least 6, and that was more than our entire year's total, I think.
Yeah, it was 6.
So yeah, they've got some major problems on that offensive line. I didn't realize how bad they were.
Yeah, and they're supposed to be a defensive team too. So
yeah.
I don't know what they're doing. They need to get rid of Ron. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I've heard a couple calls for him to get out of there, and it's one of those things like he hasn't had success anywhere since his time with Cam. I think
he won the division with a losing record. Like, that's not something to be happy with.
Well, no, yeah, that was a weird.
Yeah,
only in the NFC East, man.
Only in the NFC, bro, because the NFC South did it a few years before that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude. Let's talk about that real quick. The NFC has been so bad against the AFC. I want to say it's like 20-13 or something like that. Maybe even worse.
Yeah, it's bad. Did you see that the in the game with the Ravens, they're 16-1 or something against NFC teams?
Lamar is 16-1.
Or Lamar is, yeah. That's crazy.
Why do you think that is?
Could be for a couple reasons. I obviously, for whatever reason, the AFC gets quarterback. They get the quarterback position right, and then I think so. You got Harbaugh, you've got Belichick, you've got. So I think you got the better coaches, you got the better quarterbacks. I don't know what the cause is, but I mean, those are the kind of things that I notice, right? Yeah. Quarterbacks are better, coaches are better.
It's got to be the quarterbacks. Like, that's got to be the main thing.
But the thing is like, you would imagine that drafting isn't NFC. Like, why is the drafting so different from NFC, AFC?
Yeah, are you building to beat the teams in your conference, or like, I don't.
Maybe, I mean,
that's why we're seeing all these like draft heavy, like. I don't have any idea why they've drafted so many quarterbacks in the AFC that have just done better. Like, it's almost like the NFC doesn't care how they do against the AFC.
Well, to some extent, yes, because to get to the Super Bowl, you're not going through the other conference, so that makes sense. But in theory, you're still going for the best available quarterback. You're not you're not just going for, I don't need to get that guy so I can push off. Like, I don't think that's how you think.
Do you think it's just like the overall competition, since like the AFC's harder, like it makes them play better because they've learned all this stuff from playing these teams, that they play against the NFC teams better? Because I feel like at one point it had to be the other way, where NFC was dominating AFC.
I don't know if it ever has, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the AFC I think was the original football league, and then the NFC was added on later. No, is it that backwards?
No, it's not like that.
Because one of the Giants and the Packers are
split it
older.
up, yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they split it up because I don't remember all the old
Yeah,
teams.
because there's some really old teams.
Weren't the Browns part of the original?
Uh,
we'd have to get back on that, but
yeah. It is weird. We'll have to do some research and try and see if we can find out why. Because it is weird how, at least from our lifetime,
it's been pretty AFC dominant.
And I don't know when the last time the NFC's won in like a Pro Bowl game or anything like.
Yeah, who cares about Pro Bowl? It's
it's an interesting thing.
Yeah,
that we suck so much.
Who's the last team? Like, who's the last NFC team to win a Super Bowl?
Eagles.
How long ago was that? Was that?
No, it can't be them.
It has.
Is it them? Trying to think who else.
The Rams, idiot. Last 2 years ago.
The Rams?
Against the Bengals.
Oh, I guess they are an NFC
and
team.
Then Tampa Bay won the year before that. Philadelphia.
Huh. So Tampa Bay.
I guess Super Bowls have been pretty like 50-50. Honestly.
Well, Tampa Bay, you have an AFC quarterback who comes and wins it for you. You know what I mean? The Rams, they had been to the Super Bowl, so they were a good team before Stafford, obviously, from the NFC. But,
Yeah, we'll have to do some research and come back with that some other time.
Yeah, interesting stuff.
What game? Okay, this one, NFC South Division game. The Atlanta Falcons went into Tampa Bay and got that win.
Yeah, you on that train again?
No, bro, you talked me off of it at the wrong time.
Yeah, I did.
I think I picked the Bucks. I had thought about going Falcons.
Yeah,
again.
Neither of us had a particularly good week this week on picking games.
We both went 5-7.
But we did.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just did it here. That's why my eyes were at the computer.
Okay. So you're counting.
We both went 5-7, and that's crazy because I went crazy on the picks this week.
Yeah. It was weird. Weird week.
It was, and yeah.
I mean, nobody had the 49ers losing.
No. Yeah, we'll get into that here in just a couple minutes, but Buccaneers, I don't know.
I mean, this is one of those games to me where it's like, you have zero expectations for either of these teams, so it's kind of like,
yeah.
So like the Giants Commanders, like I'm personally involved in that because I'm a Giants fan, so it's kind of fun to see, hey, what's going on with the Giants. But this
was for the division, like the lead in the division.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't
pay attention to that this early.
Well, yeah, because I mean it's going to be highly contested the whole year, I think. Anyways.
Oh yeah,
and who knows? Maybe it's another year where a losing record gets in or something.
Yeah.
It's just some weird stuff like that. I mean, I definitely don't think Atlanta is going to go to the playoffs.
They might win the division.
I don't think so.
Who wins that division? Do the Saints win it?
The Saints. I like them both better than the Falcons at this point.
I don't like any of them.
Unless Desmond Ridder gets like improved significantly.
Yeah.
But
dude, speaking of Desmond Ridder, that and the Falcons, they've got to learn how to not fumble the ball close to the end zone or close to the goal line.
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
And then they fumbled right after one of them.
Yeah.
Because they, like the Drake London, he dove and like flipped, and then they reviewed that for like forever.
Yeah,
and then the next play, Desmond Ridder fumbles, and
he was kind of like showboating going into the end zone. Is it that play, or was it a different one?
No, it was. So the Drake London one was the one where he flipped by the goal line.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, and then the next play he fumbled, like actually fumbled, and then I don't know if it was before or after that part. Desmond Ridder had that play where he was not necessarily hustling into the end zone and then almost got stripped of the ball.
Yeah.
But he crossed the plane barely just before that.
Oh, they called a touchdown?
Did they?
I thought it was a fumble. I thought they got the ball back. Tampa got the ball back. I'm pretty sure. Maybe not. I wasn't. It
No,
was
because
just on highlights and
Desmond
stuff.
Ritter had a 2-yard touchdown run, and that was
Oh,
that.
okay.
So,
Huh.
yeah, but
So they did call. I thought it looked really.
it was close. But the
Dude.
kicker's the best player on the team.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you talked me out of that one, so I kind of lost. Kind of lost that one.
Yeah,
You lost it too.
I would predict at this point the winner of that division is whoever has the easiest strength of schedule.
Yeah,
going forward.
Probably. Let's talk about strength of schedule and the Lamar Jackson talk. Lamar Jackson against the Detroit Lions, and he just carved them up, man. 357.
Yeah. Well, I think there is something to the fact that when you play a unique player and you don't have any way to prepare for that player, it's hard to go against, it's hard to come into it, expecting, knowing what to expect. Because when you go into it and, you have that regular, vanilla offense with a regular quarterback, it's easier to just go in there and say, hey, we know what we're doing, But whenever you've got someone that can extend plays like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, it's a lot more difficult. You have to practice specifically for those kind of situations. And so, yeah.
Yeah. It's the same old Lions, man.
You think so?
No, I don't.
I think that they're obviously significantly better than they have been.
They're better. I don't think they're going to make it deep into the playoffs. Like most people are saying.
They'll win their division.
Yeah.
And then they'll be able to get to a playoff game, and depending on who they draw, they're going to maybe win one, if that.
Yeah.
So
because I don't think this team's like built up just enough yet.
No, their defense is not as good as it needs to be.
There's pieces they need to put together, and then they might be able to go on a little run with what they got.
Well, I'm concerned that what was their official score in that game?
38-6.
6?
They didn't score a touchdown.
So that's more concerning to me. The Ravens defense is good.
Sorry, they scored one touchdown.
Missed a field goal?
2-point.
Oh, they went for 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, see, that's more concerning to me, is that their offense is their strong suit.
Yeah.
And they go into this game and didn't do anything.
Yeah.
It's probably a garbage time touchdown if I'm... it was definitely in the second half.
Oh, yeah. Fourth quarter. Beginning of fourth quarter.
So, yeah.
Almost garbage
game
time.
was basically over.
Game was pretty much over.
So, yeah. So, anyways, I think that's the biggest scare for me with them is that, look, you guys are supposed to be better on offense. You went against a great defense, but put up 14 points. Yeah. Something. Yeah. But they were lifeless.
Put up some effort into it.
Yeah.
This next game shocked the absolute crap out of me. The Pittsburgh Steelers going up against a team you were very high on this year in the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah. So the Rams kind of lost this game as it was like a they lost it as the what am I trying to say?
It goes back to what we were talking about earlier. The refs freaking suck, bro. Did you watch the end of this game? Kenny Pickett went for it on 4th and 1. Not even close. Not even close to getting it.
Oh, I did see a little bit of it.
You see a little bit of that?
Yeah.
Not even close to getting it, and they gave him the first down.
Yeah.
And they won the game.
So was the call on the field though was
that he made the line to gain.
Yeah. So, but that's the thing. Is it indisputable evidence?
No. Everybody saw it. Like, there was no questioning he didn't make it.
They just didn't overturn it.
They couldn't challenge.
It was right before the 2-minute thing.
They called the 3 timeouts because they needed the ball back.
Yeah.
They needed time. So they wasted all their timeouts. And then it's 4th down, and they give them a first down. But they can't challenge it because they don't have any timeouts. And it's not the 2-minute warning.
It was like 3 seconds before the 2-minute warning, too.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember now.
The Rams got screwed. They had a chance. They had a chance to go win the game.
Yeah.
Not saying they win it, but they didn't get that chance.
It was 2 minutes. They would have had no timeouts.
They would have had the 2-minute warning, so they would have had one play to run with a timeout after that play.
Yeah.
It's possible. Matthew Stafford has been known to win games in the fourth quarter on a last minute drive. So
yeah.
You take the ball out of his hands, and it's just frustrating when
So
everybody in America knew Kenny
Yeah.
Pickett didn't get the first down.
So your what's your explanation for that? Why does that happen?
If you watch the replay, George Pickens went across the ref's face as the play was happening, and it blocked his view, so he just automatically assumed his forward progress was past the line,
Okay.
and that's why that line judge placed
Just
the ball
an
where he
obstructed
did.
view.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're gonna run a QB sneak, put that wide receiver out there and just have him stand in front of the ref.
Yeah.
If you're gonna get it, you might as well.
So as a fan of the game, would you prefer not to see that replay, or would you prefer that
it's so clear and obvious,
as significant as that play was? Would you wish that there was a way that refs could just say, I didn't get a good view, I want to look at the camera?
Yes, that's something the league needs. Like, if you're not 100% sure, we have so much technology where
the only thing that's wrong with that, or like I can see is wrong, is that if you do that, you have to do that throughout the entire game, not just in the fourth quarter.
Oh yeah, no, you'll.
But then that slows the game down, because then you got a ref saying,
it's only on calls that can be answered like that.
So you just have New York helping you out a lot
New York
more.
would be like, hey, you missed that, go fix it. And
okay. And then he can go look at the thing and say, yeah, I did miss it.
They don't even have to look at it. They can be like, hey, you guys missed this. It's their ball. Place it here. Times this. Done.
Huh. Yeah.
Like, assign a certain person to each game, which I think they already do.
Yeah.
And that's their job. They get paid to do that.
Yeah.
Speaking of refs, pay them full-time?
Refs?
Yeah. Make it their full-time job?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
The refs were terrible this weekend, both in college and in NFL. It's ridiculous. I can't stand it. I hate when the refs are the deciding factor, unless they should be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it goes back to the Hail Mary with Aaron Rodgers, the Packers, and the Seahawks with replacement refs. And what do we need to do to make these refs better? Because this is unacceptable. If this is how it is playoff times, it's going to ruin the integrity of the league.
Yeah, I think to some extent there's been years that are better and worse and all this, but yeah, you don't like to see it for sure. So what are your thoughts on speaking of refs and decisions for the league and stuff like that? Thoughts on the tush push or the brotherly shove? You think that should be made illegal, or you like that?
I just saw Kenny Pickett not get it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, your team sucks at it. Just because this team's so good at it that it makes it unfair for your defense because you can't stop it. Good on them. Do you know how much, like, Jalen Hurts matters so much for that play? The fact that he can squat 600 pounds is probably one of the biggest reasons why they can do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they get rid of that play, I'm going to be absolutely infuriated with
it. The only reason I can see, which I don't think statistically it's a higher risk of injury, unless teams start to resort to some dramatic measure to try and stop the Eagles. Because
if you do that, then you should be fined. Like,
no.
What do you mean by dramatic?
I'm saying, like, you're trying different techniques to try and stop it. That puts you at more risk of an injury. That's the only reason I can think that that particular play would cause significant injury. So, like, some of the plays that they banned are like, you can't hit a defenseless receiver.
Yeah.
In the upper, what is it, head, or
it's basically neck. Like, if you hit chest and then your head slides up, penalty.
Yeah. So you got to be low.
Yeah.
So those kind of plays, they're based on analytics and injuries, and I get that. I don't like it all the time, but I get it. But this play, the only reason I can think that they might try and get rid of it is because of injury risk.
I don't see how it's that.
Well, Mahomes got injured on that one. Where
Mahomes
his kneecap
get injured once a game, so
yeah,
move on.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I think the only statistical injury increase is if they try and, like, have guys, doing something crazy to try and stop it.
Yeah. Well, don't do that. Don't risk your players.
One thing I haven't seen, just mirror what they're doing.
Yeah.
Have people push your defensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're all trying to jump on top to try and grab him, but at that point you have no leverage. You're just trying to sink him down.
Trust your corners to play one-on-one. Bring your safeties down. Bring your linebackers in.
Bro, if they line up in that formation, well, sometimes you don't always get to sub, but I'm like, send out 10 linemen. Like, whatever you got to do, man.
Field goal block.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next game. This one was kind of a snooze fest. The Seattle Seahawks taking on the Arizona Cardinals. And I did mention that Jackson Smith-Njigba was going to be a player I watched this game, and he scored in the first quarter. So
yep.
I liked that. But then after that, it was kind of just a field goal game because other than Jake Bobo, he had a tremendous catch, bro.
Oh, really?
Oh, it was crazy.
Did you? We didn't talk about it in the Atlanta game. Did you see the? Why do I keep forgetting his name? The tight end,
Kyle Pitts or Jonnu Smith?
Kyle Pitts, the one that he had where it was behind him and he just snagged it.
I didn't see that one. No.
Yeah, he had one where it was thrown obviously behind him, and he just reaches that behind like it's nothing, grabs it, pulls it in behind his back.
That's probably the first and only good thing he's done his entire career.
Well, maybe, but it was cool. Yeah. So I didn't watch the Arizona game much. I didn't see that catch or anything.
I was at a birthday dinner at 1, so I didn't really catch many of the early games. I did try to watch as many of these games as I could, and this one wasn't really on Red Zone as much. I watched the Packers game and then Red Zone, and then the Chiefs game was on behind me. This one, not really interesting. The Cardinals, they don't have a quarterback that can throw the ball very well. And Seattle just kind of went in there and won the game. The NFC West is always a defensive friendly game.
Yeah.
And it's just another one of those games. Kenneth Walker was probably the only good thing we saw out of that game. He had 100+ yards, and so let's move on to this game.
Yes, sir.
Take it away.
Alrighty. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you may be wondering today why my host over here is wearing this ridiculous helmet and looks extremely shameful with his eyes covered right now. And the reason is, if you will go back and watch our last episode number 5, and you'll watch his take on the Green Bay game, you will notice something absurd. You will notice something maybe insane.
Did you just say absurd?
Absurd and insane. And that is, you were so confident to not only pick Green Bay, you said, I'm going to pick Jordan Love to have an excellent game, go up and down the field, no problem, maybe one interception, and he's going to tear it up. And then you predicted that this game would be a cakewalk for the Packers. And what did we see? It was ugly. It was ugly. So, I want to know, as a Packers fan, what's going through your mind, man? You on that Jordan Love train? You see the future, or are bailing?
I had a whole lot of faith, and I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now. Shut up. You like the Giants, bro. It's way worse for you.
Yeah, and I picked against them because they suck.
Yeah, but I chose right.
Not on your team, though.
Not on my team, no.
Yeah, your fandom clouded your judgment.
No, my fandom predicted what we should have done, and that's won the game.
No, you predicted that they would easily handle this game.
Yeah, we should have, but we didn't. We didn't, and quite honestly, this team's just not healthy. That's where we're at. The defense is not healthy. Aaron Jones hasn't been 100% yet, and we're just waiting for our team to get healthy. And granted, that's not going to be this year, I don't think. Anyway, I kind of want to see us get rid of David Bakhtiari. Just
oh, really?
What's the point of having somebody on your team and paying him the most money, not to not even play, not even attempt it anymore? He played 1 week and then said, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's just frustrating as a fan to watch. And he's a left tackle that is obviously top 3 in the league. So it's somebody that really matters. We saw what happened with the 49ers having Trent Williams out, and it's just frustrating to see all these injuries we have, and to be this close to winning games. Granted, it's the Broncos. We should have won anyways, and we lost to the Raiders. We should have won anyways. But this is 2 games we should have won that maybe towards the end of the year, we're going to be 7-9, and we're going to be like, oh, wow, we could have been 9-7 or 10-7 or whatever. And we could have been in the playoffs. But honestly, it's time for a tank for Marvin Harrison Jr. or Senior, whatever, the third, whatever, Junior, whatever, from Ohio State.
Oh, yeah. You think so?
Yeah, dude. It's just miserable. I can't handle it anymore. What's it like being a fan of a team? Like, are there any coping mechanisms you use being a fan of a team that's so bad?
Yeah. So remind me again on the math on this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So how many Super Bowls have you seen your team win since you've been alive?
1.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe 2.
Maybe 1.
1.
Yeah. How many do you think I've seen since
2.
Okay. So it's not all bad being a Saints fan.
You've had the worst team more. I've at least got to see my team in the playoffs like almost every year.
Well, that's great for you, but I got to see 2 Super Bowls in my lifetime. I think that's all right. I can live with that.
No, you hate it. I know you hate it.
It's been bad recently.
You hate it. You hate it, don't you? You'd rather be in the playoffs every year, wouldn't you?
I'd rather be in the playoffs once every like 2 or 3 years, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay if a team goes through a season where it's like you win, like the Eagles. I mean, they do this really well. Well, they'll go and get close or win or whatever, and then stink for a while.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. That just seems like a natural cycle. You're not always going to have, a Patriots go and dominate for 10 years or whatever. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it's been pretty brutal. And I think the worst part about it is those games where it's close and you have a chance and you're just like, it's just a terrible feeling. We're like, we're going to blow it. You just know that you will. Like the Bills game, going to blow it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're going to blow it.
Let's not stay on that topic anymore.
Yeah, it's depressing.
Yeah, it's very sad. Let's move on to it. Even more depressing story.
Hey, I will say on this though, it means a lot to have a franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
Because a franchise quarterback can overcome a lot of mess.
Mm-hmm.
So like Eli Manning, even whenever we had bad coaching, we had all these things, he kept us kind of relevant. And it's hard to appreciate that in the moment because he seems like the problem sometimes. Yeah. But Aaron Rodgers was a big deal for you guys coming after Brett Favre. And you don't know what you got until...
Oh, I knew what we had.
Until he's gone.
I was just delusional. I'm going to be honest. I was just delusional. Trying to have some hope.
Anyways, yeah.
And speaking of hope, I had a lot of hope in the Los Angeles Chargers through 2 quarters. And then the second half happened, and all my hope was absolutely crushed.
Yeah, man, I don't know what you were thinking with this one.
Bro, you had to admit, you were kind of scared the first half.
Not at all.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. The Charger's going to Charger. So.
Yeah, there was no fear in the fact that I knew that they were not going to sustain that all game.
But, like, how do you have this offense and not score a single point in a half?
Because your coach stinks. Once that's the mark of a good team is adjustments at halftime.
But you have Kellen Moore. Like, Kellen Moore was supposed to be the answer to this team. And does the coach suck? Like, obviously, Brandon Staley's an idiot, but he's getting paid money for not being an idiot, apparently. And also, Bill Belichick got an extension.
Yeah, I saw that.
You see that? Okay.
That's that.
But yeah, Travis Kelce on National Tight End Day.
Yes,
My
sir.
goodness.
Represent.
As a fantasy owner of Travis Kelce in a league that gives tight ends 1.5 points per reception.
Oh, why?
God bless America.
Okay, I got to ask this. Why? Why PPR leagues? Why do they exist? I hate them.
Bro, because if you don't have a PPR league, do you know how irrelevant tight ends are?
Okay, yes, but that's kind of how, I mean, Kelce wouldn't be irrelevant in a non-PPR league. He'd still be a good pick.
No, but that's one tight end.
Yeah, because most tight ends don't contribute like points. So think about this. Okay, I saw this kind of comparison.
PPR weeks or leagues.
This is what frustrates me about them. You throw a -2 yard pass to a receiver, it's the same amount of points as a running back running for 8 yards.
Yeah.
That's so dumb. Running backs, they have to work so hard to get every one of those 8 yards in that run. They get beat up so much more, and they block, they run, they do so much more for the offense than a receiver does. And you're going to give them a point for every time they get a touch.
Yeah.
That just seems crazy.
Here's what some leagues do. They give half a point per catch, which I kind of like that. And then,
but why? Give me a good reason to reward receivers other than just because they're receivers and people like them better.
Because it's just like the way fantasy works is like you want to give them credit for doing something.
So give a running back a credit for every rush.
No, because that's not hard to do. Catching a ball is a lot harder. I want to see you catch a ball. We're gonna find this out Friday, barring any weather conditions. Let's see how hard it is to catch a ball.
What do you mean how hard it is to catch a ball?
Yeah.
Okay, comparatively, yes, it's a little bit more like you like for every.
It's a lot easier than getting a handoff. I'll say that.
How? I don't know what the comparison would be. Like a rushing yard past the line of scrimmage is worth 1 point, because sometimes your line doesn't block for you and you don't get a point for that. Maybe that's like the comparison to a incomplete pass. It blows my mind that running backs do so much more work. They get beat up so much more, and yet we're going to reward a receiver 1 whole point. So a receiver can have 10 targets, 50 yards, and then a running back can do much more and have less. It just blows my mind. I don't get it.
Be a pass catching running back. But Patrick Mahomes looked kind of like Patrick Mahomes, and Justin Herbert hasn't looked great this season, man. I don't know what's going on with him. Maybe he's just finally tired of coaching. And
so here's what I learned from week 7, 8. I can't remember what week we're at in the NFL.
8. Here's 7.
Here's what I learned from week 7 of the NFL. So what I learned is this: who are the teams that we should have been on as favorites the whole year? The Chiefs, the Eagles. Those are the teams that we should have stuck with, right? The Chiefs have proven to us they can overcome adversity. So we say, oh, their offense is struggling at the beginning of the year. Okay, they've proven they can overcome that and win Super Bowls. And then the Eagles, they're winning ugly. Okay, that's what they do. They're able to overcome that. And so those, in my mind, I like the Miami trend, the whatever. I know. But all of that stuff is just, in my mind, week 7 said, nope, we know who the favorites are. We know who we should be looking to see in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Maybe something weird happens, but those are the two that we should have really given the credit to for the work they've done the last 3 years.
And I did.
Yeah.
But you know who didn't? This guy sitting right across the table from me, because he chose the Miami Dolphins to walk up into the Brotherly Love Stadium and beat the Eagles. And guess what? The Dolphins are not that team.
Hey, they did not. So whenever you texted me first half, I said if they get blown out in this game, I'm like worried about them. They actually were they were in that game. Like, it wasn't a pretty performance by any means for them. But there were multiple plays where 2 receivers in the same spot. That interception in the second half, there's no reason for those 2 guys to be in that same zone.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think that's a touchdown. So it was sloppy. It was not good for Miami, and I'm not as worried about them. I don't think that.
I think you should be.
I think that they're going to be a 1-win playoff team.
Can you tell me?
But not a Super Bowl favorite anymore.
Can you name one of the 5 teams that they've beaten that have a winning record?
I don't think they have they? Or they're like maybe a 4-win.
Let's take a look.
I know
the Eagles winning record, loss.
Yeah.
The week before, Panthers, worst team in the league, loss or win.
Won. Yeah.
The Giants suck.
Yep.
Won. The Bills lost by 28.
Yep.
The Broncos destroyed them.
Yep.
The Patriots won by 7. The Chargers won by 2. This team hasn't
So
really.
they beat 2 winning teams right now.
Who's-
Or no, because New England's not a winning record,
No.
are they?
Who's a winning record?
Well, the Chargers.
No.
They're not?
They're 2-4.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Who am I thinking of that they beat? Nobody then.
Nobody they've played has a winning record.
Okay. But
Or they've won has a winning record.
they went to Philadelphia. It's a hard place to play. They went to Philadelphia and played a close game.
They lost by 14 points.
Well, okay, it was closer than it looks.
But was it really?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't close for very long. Like, you just look at it, and Philly went up 17-3, and then at the end of the second half, the Dolphins scored to make it 10-17, and then they tied it in the third quarter.
Yeah.
But then the Eagles started to take back over. I'm not completely worried for this team, but I kind of want to compare them to the Lions.
Yeah, I think that they're more talent. I think that they have Jalen Ramsey coming back eventually, so I think that they're going to be better suited to win a playoff game.
Mhm.
But I think that the overreaction to this team was Super Bowl. I think that the correct reaction is division and
maybe
one playoff game,
a conference
Yeah,
appearance.
yeah.
And that's one thing I've noticed with the media, and this is kind of their job, is to overreact to everything and just make random stories out of nothing. They'll be super high on one team one week, and then the next week they'll be like, "Oh, this team is the worst team in the league." And
Well, I mean,
not
yeah.
obviously that exaggerated, but they'll be like from Super Bowl favorite to will they make the playoffs?
Yeah, but it's not fun to just say at the beginning of the year, Chiefs, Eagles, 49ers, one of the two.
Yeah, no, and that's why I said they have to do their job. But
I mean, how else do you think we get paid? We got to create some drama.
We don't get paid. But let's go ahead and get to the last game of week 7, I believe. And it was the 49ers going into Minnesota and taking on the Vikings and getting upset 22-17.
Yeah, so the shocker to me was Kirk Cousins playing really good in primetime.
Right?
I mean, I think that's statistically like
he's had like
less
3 good
likely to
games.
happen than a shark attack, which is rare.
Yeah.
So it was crazy, man.
Yeah. Do you worry about this 49ers team?
So that's why whenever I said this shows me what to expect for the year.
Yeah.
Chiefs and Eagles, maybe 49ers. The 49ers have the talent to be able to come back with health and all these things, but this is what it's been every single year. Someone gets hurt, someone pivotal gets hurt. And the thing is that obviously without a quarterback, whenever they lost last year, they had no quarterback, which was just awful to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But without with a quarterback, but without one of their major stars, they're a beatable team. Yeah. And so I think that if the conference round, if they don't lose there, they're definitely going to lose in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So I don't buy into this like they're this powerhouse unbeatable team because they in theory have no flaws with their roster, but it's who's going to play? Yeah. Who's not going to play? That's the question. Yeah. So I'm not bought in on that they're going to be healthy at the end of the year.
Yeah. Let's kind of wrap up this and then we'll talk about Thursday. Who's your top 5 teams going in? Like, what's your top 5 power ranking?
Power ranking? It's hard to go against the Chiefs at number 1. So I got Chiefs at number 1. I'm going to go with who to put it to? At this point, we'll go Chiefs. We'll go Ravens. And then for 3, I'm probably gonna put Eagles, Niners, and then at 5, who's 5? Who should be next? I don't know who's next.
Dolphins?
Maybe.
Who'd you say was 4?
4?
Yeah. What do you have? You have Chiefs.
So I got Chiefs, Ravens, Chiefs,
Ravens, Eagles.
Oh yeah, Chiefs, Ravens, Eagles, Niners,
Niners.
and trying to think of who that next team would be even. I mean, maybe Miami.
Maybe.
I don't feel good about it, but yeah.
So I've kind of got Philadelphia number 1.
At 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chiefs 2. And then this is kind of where it gets mixy. I've got the Ravens at 3, the Jags at 4.
Really? You're that
Yeah.
high on the Jags? Okay.
The Jags are at 4.
At 4?
Yep.
Okay.
And then I've got the 49ers at 5.
I don't agree with that.
You know, I know you don't. I just, what I'm seeing from the Jags, they've only shown like a little bit of what they can do. They haven't even shown their full potential, and they're still 5-2. So once they get to that full potential, what are they going to be like? That's kind of where
you're saying they're at the end of the year they're going to be the 4th team standing.
I think they could.
One of the top
I think
4
they could make
standing.
the conference championship.
I think they could make it, but
that's where I'm at.
I think they'd be an underdog for sure.
Yeah, but I have them at 4.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's get on to the Thursday night game.
Okay.
I'll pull it up here, and we've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
This one's interesting, man.
To me, it's not.
Yeah.
Buffalo's going to come in here and they're going to be really frustrated with their performance. Josh Allen's going to come out with a chip on his shoulder. And I don't think that Tampa Bay is going to have the kind of meticulous, perfectionist kind of mindset that's going to take to beat this team. But you know what I mean? Like New England has that kind of like, we can win a game if we play perfect. And they did, and they took advantage of turnovers and stuff. Tampa's not like that. They're just not built like that.
Yeah.
So I think that the Bills get right after this. And I think that it's mainly because Josh Allen goes out there and says, we're winning this game.
Yeah.
We need it. They can't lose this game.
No, this game's definitely a must-win game if they want to even have a chance at the number 1 seed. So
yeah,
they've pretty much got to win out in order to get that number 1 seed, I think. I don't think a team...
Well, I don't know how strong. I think Miami's schedule gets pretty easy, actually.
No, Miami's schedule has been easy. It only gets harder.
Does it?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, well...
The Chiefs are the team that would be competing for the number 1 seed. Chiefs or Jaguars.
Okay. Well, I think Chiefs get it. Yeah.
But you think that, but the Jaguars do have a pretty easy conference. And I don't know how their schedule looks like for the rest of the year. But I'm just saying they're a sneaky link team.
Okay. Well,
I will put you on the Jaguars train by the end of this year.
I like them, but I just don't think that they're the top 4 team.
I will put you right next to me. You will be the conductor at the caboose.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's bold for a guy that's struggling on the year to keep up with me on picking games, and then got
we just tied this week.
Yeah, but I'm saying on the year, and then got humiliated in our draft picks.
Yeah,
bro, you said that you were gonna win by.
From that.
Yeah, you said that was gonna be some easy piece of cake.
Oh,
come on, bro,
man.
You lost by like 40 points.
Bro, it wasn't even close. Let me pull it up here real quick.
Yeah,
it honestly did. What can I expect when I have who was my quarterback? Was it Jordan? It was Jordan.
You picked Jordan Love,
yeah.
dude.
It's just my team was injured.
Okay, your team was bad, bro. That's what it was.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I kind of sucked it up this week. Granted, your team wasn't anything special.
Yeah, but I got right on a couple key players, man.
You won. You won. That's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you won.
Yeah. So to my credit, I picked the winning combo at quarterback tight end. So I got Lamar and Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews was 2 or 3, I think, at tight end.
He was 2,
which
because
to be expected. Darren Waller, number 1 on tight ends. So that was cool.
Was he?
Mm-hmm.
Over Kelsey?
Yep.
Really?
So maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I saw him on a stat somewhere saying that he was number 1. Where do I go here for
you will go to
lineups or leagues?
Go to lineups, I believe.
And I'll go ahead.
Go to, where did I go? Hang on. I just had it here. Go to contests, sorry.
Contests.
And then go to history.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll get it pulled up here so that people can see this humiliation here.
Oh my gosh, bro! You beat me by.
It's also, if you didn't
You beat
notice,
me by 28.
if you didn't notice, it's on our Facebook page too.
I saw. I commented. Bro's
Here
first
we go.
Facebook post was
Okay. So
ratting me
yeah,
out.
we were really cold on our receivers. We did not make any
no.
any good choices there. Pacheco had a good game, so that was good.
He had a decent game, yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly expected Brian Robinson to do a little bit more than 23 yards with a touchdown.
Dude, we owned that game for some reason. I don't know what happened. Our defense
and then I don't know
played
why I
crazy.
chose Cole Kmet without Justin Fields. I thought the check down would work, and that theory was proven wrong.
Oh yeah, that was empty. But yeah, I mean, our receivers, terrible picks.
Yeah,
So we need to
terrible picks.
figure something out
We're
next
definitely
time.
definitely gonna have to.
Where did you spend all your money?
Bro, all my money? What do you mean? I spent it on Josh Jacobs and Kenneth Walker.
Oh, at your flex. Okay, I
Yeah.
see. Yeah.
So obviously I kind of got my butt kicked this weekend, and next weekend I'm gonna come in a little bit more prepared.
You think so?
Yeah,
More prepared than me, who was not prepared at all and still won?
bro. I did not prepare, and normally I prepare for DraftKings lineups.
Hey, look at us though, both hitting on the defense.
Yeah,
When I said last week defense doesn't matter, we both hit on it.
you said defense doesn't matter, and 3,300 and 3,000 was probably a top 5 defense for both of us.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing that cracked me up is that your defense would have had an insane amount of more points if they didn't get dropped like 38 points on
Right.
them, like Gardner Minshew.
Right.
So like you had the potential for a really good, like honestly,
I could have scored 30 points with my defense.
you almost could have won, like
with my defense.
yeah, but then they get dropped 38.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. Anyways, let's move on and pick our teams for this game.
Oh, for the
Bills Bucks.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Bills. And I'm gonna say that they win.
What's the spread on this? Let's take a look.
It's
at
probably
that.
dropped since Sunday, but I would imagine they're still favorites
It's
by like
8.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, huge favorites. You have your doubts. I say that they cover and win this game because for one, they need to win, and for two, they're gonna be coming out kind of playing mad. If they lose, man, it's the end of their season almost. Like
yeah, I would say they're batting 500 and it doesn't look good from there.
Yep. So I think they come out desperate, needing to win.
I'm not gonna take the spread. I'll say the Bills win. I don't know how bad
I think it'll be close.
I don't know what to think about this game. It could be close. It could be a blowout. But I think the Bills win. So
okay, yeah. Oh, I saw this thing when we go in and pick them. We'll have to look at it, but you can pick the game, but then you can also pick how confident you are.
Okay.
So I think that'd be kind of fun to just kind of give ourselves a little bit of.
We could do like a point system.
It does it.
Oh,
Yeah.
it does?
Yeah,
Okay.
it tracks it to where if you're like 100% sure the Bills are going to win,
Yeah.
you put that in and you get more points if they
Okay.
do, and
Yeah. So
you get
so
penalized
we'll do that.
if you don't.
We'll do
Which would
that.
be kind of fun because then we can say you're not so sure on this game. I'm pretty sure the Bills, so I would put it at a
Yeah.
really high, and then it would be fun at the end of the week to see like
who has the most points.
yeah,
Yeah.
you were so confident on the Packers, man.
Bro.
Just put it at 100.
I would have put that at a 3. I'm gonna be honest.
Uh,
That was all
you talked
show.
it up,
I'm gonna
man.
be honest.
You talked it up.
I gotta talk my team up, bro. I gotta hype them up.
Okay.
With that said, we're gonna get out of here. It is really late.
Yes, it is.
Both of us gotta work tomorrow. Just kidding. You don't.
I don't work on Wednesdays.
I have to work.
Lucky you.
I've got to go fold more tax statements, and hopefully my number is above 600 because in order for me to get done by next Tuesday or this Tuesday, so next week, I'm going to have to do 600 tax statements a day.
Lucky
And that's all of us.
you.
Yeah.
Lucky you.
And I've got to pull weight of a couple people because they're not as fast as me because I am goated at folding paper.
There you go. If you're gonna do it well.
Yep, that's my calling. You'll catch me folding paper for your local news. All right, with that said, we'll see you next week or this week, Saturday.